Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
From Niraj Agrawal here on Twitter, a rushed knee-jerk reaction bill was just introduced in Congress. It flies in the face of what the industry and the administration's own experts say about cryptocurrency sanctions risk. Now, he posted this, new crypto bill sanctions targets publishing code, facilitating transactions. It sounds like a hasty move. I just wanted to give you guys the gist of it. So the bill would be placing sweeping restrictions on persons who build, operate, and use cryptocurrency networks even if they have no knowledge or intent to help anyone evade sanctions. It calls for sanctioning technologists and users merely for the act of publishing open source software or facilitating communication among network participants. This is unnecessary, overboard, and unconstitutional. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this was brought in by Elizabeth Warren. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I believe it was her. So Niraj continues down here. The bill would place sweeping restrictions on persons who build, again, like I said, build, operate, or use cryptocurrency. So if you're just building, operating, or using the network itself, you could be charged. The best part about this, though, is this clip, and I saw this on Twitter earlier, brought to us by Gabor Gurbax. Painful to see so much dishonesty, twisted questions, and ill will coming from U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren. We need younger and more capable senators who care about capital formation, innovation, and the national interest. And so here's Elizabeth Warren trying to prove her point, but painfully fails.
Mr. Levin, let's consider one of Putin's cronies who already has $1 billion or so in crypto that he wants to hide from the governments that are enforcing sanctions on oligarchs. Now, can this oligarch make it harder to trace his money if he hops from one blockchain to another, if he deposits those tokens into a couple of wallets that don't require him to provide identifying information, and if he uses a mixing service that launders his money with other people's money?
Thank you, Senator. So the scenario that you describe, where an oligarch has $1 billion to be able to launder, requires significant amounts of liquidity to be able to obfuscate that amount of money through the use of cryptocurrency. In fact, many times we've been able to identify...
I'm sorry, let me just remind you of what my question was again. What I'm asking is about the tools that are available. Now, he may have to break it up into multiple pieces of, who knows, $100 million at a crack. But the question I'm asking is, does hopping from one blockchain to another, does depositing tokens in a couple of wallets that don't require him to provide identifying information, and does using a mixing service all make it easier for him to hide his money?
So, Senator, the answer to that question is no, because the chain hopping that occurs, you need to actually provide the tokens, which in a transparent way that allows you to move across blockchains. We've actually got software that allows you to... So you don't think
chain hopping makes it any easier to hide your money? How about depositing tokens in wallets that don't require identifying information?
You can always split the money up into wallets that don't require...
And that would help hide the money. And how about using a mixing service?
That doesn't remove the record of where the money actually sits.
But the question I'm asking is, does it make it harder to track the money?
No, so it doesn't make it harder to track the money,
and
because
using a mixing service, you're telling me, doesn't make it harder to launder money?
The daily liquidity value of mixing services globally is about $30 million.
So you might have to do this day by day?
And we have done extensive work in tracking large sums of money through mixers that have led to the arrests of people and the disruption of their activity.
You know, I'm actually a little surprised by your answer, since you charge a lot of money to untangle and track assets through the system, and the system keeps developing more ways to obscure that money, and that's part of what you advertise.
Ouch, Elizabeth! You should have maybe done your homework before attacking a cryptocurrency mixing expert about laundering money through cryptocurrency. Clearly this guy here, Jonathan Levin, He's very knowledgeable about the topic and, talks about the concept of liquidity and how it would be very, very difficult for oligarchs to launder money through cryptocurrency. And, it sounds as though Elizabeth Warren just does not want to listen to his answers. Keeps cutting him off throughout. And, this was kind of painful to watch, considering Mr. Levin clearly knows his stuff. And so, who knows where this is going to go. This sounds pretty harsh, this bill, but I did think that it was of interest to you guys, the XRP community, and just to cryptocurrency holders in general. So an interesting development there. Going to keep tabs on this, see where it goes. Also wanted to bring this up. Oh, look, fiat sanctions evasion by the oligarchs. What a coincidence. Wonder if Elizabeth Warren will bring forward a bill on this. And I'm not going to get into it, but essentially this is an article about a Russian oligarch who moved $1.3 billion worth of shares to an offshore tax haven the day he was sanctioned, essentially laundering money through fiat currency. So, the government is really trying very, very hard to regulate cryptocurrency, and, this is just symptomatic of the bigger picture, the fact that government feels like they are losing control. The powers that be, of course, the ones with the puppet strings, the ones at the top, the ones that own the central banks, they're trying to get national governments to rein this in, and, with lower underlings like Elizabeth Warren, posing these questions. Yet cryptocurrency, clearly it can be traceable. I mean, there are privacy coins that you could purchase, but I bet there are even experts that are able to trace those. Maybe not. I'm not a cryptocurrency privacy coin tracking expert myself, but I feel like the government just doesn't know enough about this, and when they come out here swinging and pretend to know things and then get shot down by experts, it is kind of comical. Anyway, I want to keep moving, guys. I want to focus on some more information that I discovered for this afternoon's video. This from Martin Volk here. Now, this is an old interview, but I thought I would bring it up considering where we're standing right now. XRP being poised to be that world currency, the global liquidity provider. In this morning's video, I talked a little bit about Ashish Birla and how global liquidity for XRP is now greater than ever. He talked about this in an episode of the Ripple Drop. I also talked a little bit in that video about how we are seeing SWIFT payments decline month over month. And so this could be an indication that Ripple and XRP gaining more popularity. Guys, if you didn't catch that video, I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. But to this point here, Ripple CEO names 5 jurisdictions that have acknowledged XRP is a currency. So this goes over some history. Of course, Ripple getting sued by the SEC in December 2020. Then we had just the other week, the motion to strike the fair notice defense got struck down. And so just going over that, I will link this in the description if you guys want to read in detail. But then last week on March 14th, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse was interviewed by Bloomberg TV anchor Emily Chang. When she said Garlinghouse to explain what this victory means for Ripple and to the crypto industry, he replied, "Really, I think this is a victory not just for Ripple the company, but also for the entire crypto industry, because the SEC, I think, has consistently tried to take point, really expand their reach and their control over the crypto industry. We've seen that not just with Ripple, but in other cases as well." And the executive order came out and really said to all agencies, hey, we need to be coordinated. If we want the United States to be competitive in this key technology platform, we need not to have one group behaving in one way and another group behaving in another way. So we're really pleased by not just the court's decision, but also in the executive order that came out last week. Also to note from Brad Garlinghouse's conversation with Emily Chang, he did mention this, and I've heard him mention this before, the only country in the world that considers XRP, the digital asset that Ripple uses in our technology stack, the only country in the world that thinks XRP could be a security is the United States. We work successfully in the UK, in Switzerland, in Japan, in the UAE, and in Singapore. So 5 countries that all have acknowledged that XRP is a currency because that's how it is used. So America, take stock in what Brad Garlinghouse is saying. There are 5 other countries currently that are using XRP as a currency. And those countries, again, the UK, Switzerland, Japan, the UAE, and Singapore. So, it is being utilized in that capacity now, and it probably will be in the United States in the coming months. That's just based on what I've seen with this case. It is, it seems like it's falling apart at the seams. and eventually we will have to have a resolution. Again, from this morning's video, if you guys didn't catch that, Ashish Burla saying, you know, RippleNet has now expanded and is now seeing global coverage for ODL, which is essentially what we need for XRP to increase in value. The liquidity provided, the demand that is going to be needed for XRP, that's what's going to drive the price. I also saw this from the Wrath of Kahneman Arab Regional FinTech Group report. Okay, so this is a recent report, Central Bank Digital Currencies, a practice guide for Arab central banks. They mention Ripple as an alternative system in 2 places. So I have the report up here. Again, fairly lengthy, it's about 70 pages long, and a lot of it is in Arabic. Nevertheless, I'm sure you can translate that if you wish, but most of it is in English. The part that I wanted to mention here, and the part that Wrath of Kahneman highlights, Central Bank Digital Currencies, a practice guide for Arab central banks. So they are focusing on all Arab central banks. There have been a number of efforts aiming at payment modernization without reliance on CBDCs. Many of these are incremental advances suggested by incumbent players such as Swift, which is an interesting and ironic coincidence, I suppose. Table number 1 describes some of these attempts. And so they're talking about the types, the comments, and they give some examples. So improvements to messaging protocols, but continued reliance on correspondent banking for settlement. Some of the comments made, payment service providers can use their bank deposits in the receiving country to advance funds to recipients, and then they give some examples. RippleNet here, guys, being one of those examples. Also down here, cryptocurrencies on public DLT. Value fluctuates and is not pegged to a fiat currency. Generally, cryptocurrencies have been used more as a speculative store of value rather than a payment method. However, one of the first cryptocurrencies designed primarily for payments was Ripple's XRP. So they mention it specifically down there. XRP, clearly the token that was created because they needed a solution for payments. They knew it was going to be implemented in a new global financial system. Ripple has deep ties with the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum has mentioned XRP in their June 2021 report, along with a handful of other cryptocurrencies that are going to solve problems. So it is no surprise to me that we are seeing RippleNet pop up again and again in these reports, in this case for the Arab Central Bank. So interesting to note there. Wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman for posting that. Also wanted to mention this, guys, from Michael at Val5 Links, another whale alert. Crypto Tracker has detected several large XRP transfers that carried slightly more than 211 million XRP coins. The Whale Alert has tweeted that 4 heavy transactions have moved 211.4 million XRP between several leading digital exchanges, including FTX and Binance. The largest transaction here carried out an astounding 100 million XRP to the Binance exchange. Bittrex transferred 35 million XRP to the FTX exchange. The former also participated in one more transaction, sending 40 million XRP to Mexican-based exchange Bitso. We know Bitso is one of those liquidity providers for on-demand liquidity. They partnered up with Ripple Labs, I believe it was in 2019, to do that. So 3 more alerts, a large sum of XRP that has been recently moved. It all begs the question, where is this XRP going? I mean, in the Bitso example, perhaps that is just being transferred for on-demand liquidity. You know, again, in this morning's video, I talked about the liquidity and how it is becoming more and more available through ODL solutions worldwide. Well, another thing I wanted to mention, guys, was this from DJ Peter Vass. He sent me this, and considering we're talking about a world economic reset, a global financial restructuring, I thought this was an interesting connection that I don't think too many people have been paying attention to. We know there is a connection with Ripple and the World Economic Forum. And I don't know how long you guys have been in the XRP community, but there was also this connection from back in June 2019. Ripple joins the Hyperledger Consortium. Now, some of you guys might already know about this. So since late 2015, the Hyperledger project has existed to facilitate collaboration among developing blockchains and distributed ledgers of various types, developed by the Linux Foundation, and now includes dozens of members. So these are just some screen grabs that he sent to me. So this is going to be a brave new world, guys, of enterprise blockchain solutions, where corporations are embracing the technology underlying cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and using it to speed up business processes, increasing transparency, and potentially saving billions of dollars. Hyperledger has focused exclusively on enterprise blockchain and DLT solutions, applying rigorous standards to how open source blockchains are developed. The recognition that some of the world's largest organizations are building on Hyperledger is validation for the course set 3 years ago by Executive Director Brian Behlendorf to be the premier community advancing the commercial adoption of blockchain technology. So we're looking at this in terms of large organizations building on Hyperledger. Rigorous standards, okay? And this is going to be able to scale out big time. Let me continue with this. So It is intended to provide businesses with a customizable technological framework for a variety of use cases. So it's not just going to be for one specific process. There are going to be a multitude of use cases that are going to be available from the Hyperledger network. The Hyperledger Foundation was launched in 2016 with 30 members, including IBM, Accenture, BNY Mellon, Intel, and Digital Asset Holdings. We know Accenture, an early partner of Ripple. We also know BNY Mellon is partnered with Ripple. Hyperledger Fabric was one of the consortium's first projects and incorporated aspects of code already developed by Asset, IMB, and Blockstream. Now, to put this into perspective again, guys, this was from 2019. Ripple joined the Hyperledger Consortium.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.